This is one of those stories where you just want to grab the liberals and shake them and go, why are you doing this to yourselves? Well, it's regarding a story I brought up a long time ago. A story was about AB 5, which is a bill. AB 5 was a bill in California that was meant to target Uber. Now, why were they targeting Uber? Well, they were targeting Uber because unions, which primarily donate money to Democrats, don't like the fact that Uber drivers and Lyft drivers aren't classified as full-time employees. Why are they not classified as full-time employees? Because they're not. Because it's in the gig economy, people who drive Uber sometimes have other jobs, sometimes don't. Sometimes they're parents or teachers or whatever. They want to make a few extra bucks on the weekend. So you get what I'm saying? Unions don't like that because they need people to be classified as employees. Why, Joe? So they can pay union dues, which unions can then use to influence Democratic politics and to influence their packages and their remuneration packages. Listen, and I mean this when I say this, and I'm unfortunately, I got to caveat this conversation every time. I'm not anti-union. I'm anti-force and monopoly. Unions can do great things for their employees, and many do. You should not be forced to join one, and they should not be pushing people like Uber drivers to join a union they don't want to join because they're not employees. They're not. So liberal hacks in California decided to push through this bill, AB 5, that would reclassify Uber and Lyft drivers, Joe, as employees of Uber. Well, what they didn't take into account, or did, because they're really not that smart, is that when you reclassify contract employees who are just working by the job, 1099 type employees, as full-time or part-time employees when they're not, that it wasn't just going to affect Uber. And a lot of the companies that would then be forced to classify people as employees don't want to classify these people as employees because they're not. They do specific jobs, they do contract work, but they are not. They are individual contractors. So what happened? Who did it primarily affect? Well, interestingly enough, a lot of liberal writers and journalists, Joe, are not classified as employees in California because they're not. They submit pieces to maybe Vox and elsewhere, and they submit pieces to other places. Well, they're not employees of Vox. They submit to other left-wing sites, I'm sure Mother Jones and elsewhere. Mm-hmm. So let's get to the point on this one. This is a sad tweet. I don't mean to make light of this either. I don't know this woman. I never met her in my life, but she's a writer, apparently. This is from @MS Andy Love. Her name is Andy Lovell. It's a woman. She says, I quote in a tweet, "I just lost my ability to earn a living because of California Assembly Bill 5. My freelance brokerage company says they'll have to let California authors go. Almost a decade of hard work gone in an instant. I can't stop crying. Right before Christmas. Hashtag AB 5. Folks, it's not a joke. I mean, this show, we can be sarcastic and, pointing out liberal stupidity almost becomes humorous sometimes because they're so dumb and you tell them this is going to happen. This is not funny. I don't know this woman. I've never met her. I don't know him from Adam Lovell. I have no idea who this is. I am only highlighting that tweet amongst many because without regard for a political affiliation, because I don't met her, it's right before Christmas, and this woman just lost her job precisely because liberals did that to her. Uber and Lyft and the gig economy in California was working just fine before big government, tyrannical police state liberals who cannot get their damn hands out of your pocket, your wallet, your business, your kids' education, your healthcare decisions, and everything else they want to control had to step in before the holidays and crap all over this woman and ruin her entire life right before the holidays. She got fired because the company cannot classify her as an employee because she's not. She is an individual contractor. If they classify her as an employee, they get saddled with a bunch of payroll costs and expenses they don't need because she's not an employee. So what did they do? Rather than having to reclassify her, Joe, they fired her. Everyone who was sane, moderate Democrats, moderate Republicans, conservatives, libertarians, warned them, you are going to get massive numbers of people fired. And these liberal buffoons did it anyway right before the holidays. To the good people of California, this does not include you. To the morons, you will continue to decimate and wreck and destroy the lives of the people who live in that great state.
You just heard The Dan Bongino Show. You can also get Dan's podcasts on iTunes or SoundCloud. And follow Dan on Twitter 24/7 @DBongino.